In my Bugatti, Jay, we gotta get started, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm already rolling.
Oh, okay.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it.
Everybody got their mics up there. Let me get a mic check off everybody.
Check one, check two.
All right,
Mike, check one,
Check
two.
one, check two. Check one.
I look good. Everybody good. Everybody good.
Yeah.
Ready, Sean?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yo, yo, yo. Oh.
2, 1.
Yo, yo, yo. This your boy Sean Treasy. This the show, Star in My City. I got a special guest on here today, Mr. Keon in my Toyota. You know what I mean? Keon, you want to tell him a little something, bring yourself in?
What's up, y'all? I'm Keon. They call me the Wrist Bandit. I'm just blessed to be here, blessed to live another day. It's the Star in My City podcast. Let's get it.
I got to start off with that straight up.
Right.
What made you start just collecting the...
I was in first grade, and I just think back to some days where it was like the popular thing to wear a whole arm of wristbands, right? Some people
Okay.
had a silly band
Yeah.
phase. I had a wristband phase. And so it was something that never left me. Like
Okay.
over the years, I just built up a collection. And
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? I need like a nickname, because my stage name is my
Mhm.
first name. It's Keon, but I'm like, wristbanded, like
Wrist-
wristband
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm not a thief. Like,
Right.
it is bandit, but it's like wristbanded. It's almost like a
Like
a
wrist, like-
verb in
yeah.
some form. But that's where that came from. It's been since first grade I've been
Word.
collecting. Yeah.
True that. So, and you always had the same ones, or you just...
They change.
They change?
So I have a collection, and sometimes I might, just based on the color, like I'm like, oh, you know what? With this outfit, I might want to wear the blue wristbands, or
Mhm.
I might want to put on the green ones based on whatever color scheme I have going on.
Mhm.
But sometimes I keep it consistent, but other times I like to switch it up.
True.
Even
True.
right now, I like Mr. Enlightenment.
Yeah.
I have his wristband on, the Be the Light, Kilowatt, the poet. So
Yeah, that's dope.
I like wearing merch wristbands too. Like
Yeah.
if my fellow friends have wristbands that represent their music or brand, I like to support
Still
them in that way
supporting.
too.
Still
Right.
supporting. Okay. Fast forward to what we technically trying to find out about you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How long you been into music?
I've been into music my whole life. Like, especially in my case, I'm Iranian, so
Right.
growing up, it wasn't just American music that I listened to, but
Okay.
a lot of Iranian music as well. But
Mhm.
as far as rap, like hip hop,
Mhm.
I would say late elementary school, middle school, I really started to get into it. But as far as me making my own music, it's been about 3 to 4 years now.
Really?
So
Okay.
that's kind of been my journey from start to finish.
From start to finish. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So from middle school on up, what were the 3 artists that you bounced around with the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I would have to say Eminem and Lil Wayne.
Okay.
That was like best rappers alive, 2009, 2010, when I was coming up. And then the third one, I'd probably say Future. Future's always
Oh.
been, since I really got into rap, he's always kind of been, at
Yeah.
the top of the food chain. So,
Okay. All right. It's true that.
but that
Future.
third slot is interchangeable. It's like when you
Yeah.
ask top 5,
Yeah.
you get through the first 4, and then the fifth slot is like, all right,
That's so facts.
what do I say? What do I do?
Then somebody say change your mind on that, go with that one. True
Right.
indeed, man.
20
Okay.
minutes from now, I might come back to that question and be like, let's swap that third slot out with someone else, because you never know.
So, okay, so Lil Wayne, Eminem, and Future. True indeed, man. You was into a lot of I guess R&B as well as...
Yeah, like I always appreciated like the Chris Browns and the Ushers and a lot of the contemporary artists at the time. For me, it's like if you make good music, you make good music.
True.
I just went to a country festival with some friends
Mhm.
last week, but I'm not necessarily a country guy. But if you put on a good show, if you
Mhm.
put on a good performance, you've got a fan in me for life.
True
So,
that.
but yeah, R&B's always been in the mix.
Okay,
I
okay.
like to
True that.
melodize a
You
little
know, I
bit.
thought your third one was gonna be, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna probably say it, but it's good as a third. I thought you was gonna put like Wu-Tang Clan.
You know what's crazy? I have a lot of respect for Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
I actually had the chance to meet Master Killa
Okay.
earlier this year because he performed at the Poorhouse.
Okay.
And so a few of my buddies actually opened up for him. So we had the chance to go backstage and meet him, and a super cool dude. But Wu-Tang was a little before my time. So
Mhm.
Wu-Tang, I'm a 99 baby. So
Mhm.
I didn't really get a chance to listen to Wu-Tang like that, but
Mhm.
I know they're super like hailed in high regard. So
Okay. Okay. That's what's up.
right.
Okay. Yeah, they were not anything. I don't know. I mean, the 2000 they were still rocking too, though. They was
That's
they were
true.
still rocking hard in the 2000. It was weird how a lot of um millenniums were, bumping Wu-Tang even to today. But
Right.
I got you. I just for some reason I just thought that was gonna be who you threw in there. I
Well,
don't know why.
a lot
Yeah.
of my friends do love Wu-Tang. Like
Yeah.
I'm especially in the hip hop scene here, Wu-Tang has a big influence.
Eh,
But for me
yeah.
personally, it just wasn't. It was never in my like listening.
Gotcha.
But
So let me ask you, man. So what you been in the hip hop since middle school? You rode the bus home, or you walked to school, or
yeah, rode the
both?
bus home. That's kind of when you make a lot of your friendships in middle school is
Right.
just chaotic times on the bus. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So was you busting the headphones most of the time? Was you?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Throwing especially when you had a long day at school,
Yeah.
just throwing the
Phones
headphones,
up.
pop that new Lil Wayne album at the
Yeah.
time, and then, just ride it out
Just
from
ride
there.
it out. True that, man. So I'm asking all that because I'm getting to where I'm just I know like when I met you, and then when you came here tonight, you're saying about 4 years, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where 4 years is serious, or is 4 years what I wanna get in it now and I'm serious all at the same time. Was it like before that, did you like play around, you know what I'm saying, freestyle with the homies and all that?
No, that's a good question. I think for anyone who doesn't even pursue a serious hip hop career, I think all of the homies can say we've had freestyle sessions. Just
True.
when you're bored, when you're not doing anything, you're
True.
just rapping and having fun in the
Yeah.
moment. But I would say it's really been about two years that I've been serious about the music. 4 years ago was when I dropped my first song, and then that was like my entry into music. Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see what type of songwriter you are. Let's see if this sticks with the general public
Yeah.
and if you enjoy it, and just kind of keep going from there. But it's been about 2 years that I've really been in the scene in Charleston. And what I mean by that is popping out at shows, whether I'm performing or not, but for the
Gotcha.
sake of just networking and
Gotcha.
meeting people.
Gotcha.
Like yourself, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I think we met off the strength of, whether
That
it
was-
was at the Ritz or Jungles, or me just going to a
Yeah.
showcasing to, just
was
do
one
a
of
couple
them-
songs.
yeah.
Right. But it's been 2 years I've been serious about the whole thing,
Okay.
which means diving deeper into making music, meeting new people, networking, and just kind of seeing how far I can go.
Okay, okay. So 2 years you've been serious, but 4 years you've been in it, and 4 years ago is when you wrote your first song, right?
Yeah.
But before you wrote your first song, was you just like jotting down, freestyling all the time, right? I know I just said freestyling,
Right.
but like, was it like trying to come up with the song, or did it just
Right.
like I got it, boom?
If you look at my notes app, there's definitely a lot of broken apart raps that I've written along
Yeah.
the years. But I think to answer your question, it was really during the pandemic when I started jotting down
Yeah.
lyrics and really started to think about it. Because I always tell friends during the pandemic, that was when we had all the time in the world to ourselves, because we're on 24-hour lockdown, right? So
Yeah.
to me, it was like, you got to figure out, like, what do you enjoy doing? What do you
Right.
like to do? Obviously, I was in school at the time, but it was
Okay.
like, there's got to be something more to this.
Were
Like,
you
it's,
in college? What you mean?
right. So
Or
2020, I was a sophomore going on to be a junior,
okay.
roughly. And so I was going to school for chemistry.
Okay.
And so I didn't know what the full-time career was going to look like, but I knew that music was something that kept poking at me. So I was
Yeah.
like, let's just kind of adopt this into my day-to-day so that I can just have something to enjoy.
Yeah.
I would say it went from a hobby to being something I really wanted to pursue seriously. So
Okay. Give it your best shot. What you got to lose, right?
right.
Right, and you can go back to everyday life if it doesn't go the direction you want it to go.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think Denzel Washington had a line that really stood out to me. He basically said, imagine you're on your deathbed
Mhm.
and all the ghosts of your untapped potential came back to haunt you. And that stood out to me because I'm like, I think it's easy to get, to lose self-esteem and self-confidence whenever maybe you don't have, the utmost support that you would want from whether it's, certain people or what we call haters and
Right.
naysayers. But, as long as you enjoy what you're doing and you
Yeah.
don't actually listen to what other people have to say,
Right.
then you can't go wrong. You
True.
can live life to the fullest.
To the fullest. That's true indeed, man. That's a true statement, man. So we could get to, now you're getting into it, you're saying, okay, I'm gonna drop my first song, I'm gonna write my first song, or however you did it. What was your first song, man, and what it felt like to complete it before you got to the studio to drop it?
It's funny. When I heard the final version of the song, I actually wasn't that big of a fan of it. I was like, all right, like it sounds cool, but we just gotta drop it so that I can. You need to start somewhere. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make the perfect record
Okay.
on the first song, right?
True.
But the first song I put out was called Game Time, and
Okay.
so exactly what it sounds like. I've always been big in basketball, so it was like the embodiment of a basketball game and trying to win a
Yeah.
game, but from a bigger picture, it was like life in general. Like it's
Okay.
game time, it's crunch time. What are you gonna do when your back is against the wall and you're
Yeah.
trying to, figure life out?
Right.
And so it
That's
felt great actually writing the lyrics to it because the producer, who's a friend of mine I was working with, I wrote to a bunch of beats that he sent me, but Game Time was the first one. He was like, "Oh, I think you got one."
Yeah.
That's I like that.
I got
And
you.
when you have someone who's so big on constructive criticism and you see that glimpse of like, oh yeah, that's the one, it's like, okay, I think I did something good. I think I made a good song then. And so that's what gives you the confidence to make the second and the third and the fourth
Yeah.
and all the other songs that you want to make.
Okay, I got you. That's what's up. So so what I want to know is you wrote it in the studio, or it was something that you came up at home and then you went to the studio? Did
Yeah,
you already have
exactly.
the beat too, or
Yeah, so I was in my bedroom. So again,
Yeah.
this is pandemic time. I'm talking like March, April,
Yeah.
like at the start of the pandemic. So
Okay.
my friend is sending me beats and I'm listening to them in my bedroom and I'm writing lyrics down in my bedroom pretty much. But then ultimately we got in a studio, which was his apartment setting at college. And so we recorded it, we put it out, and then, rest is history.
Gotcha. Man, so what was it like? Obviously, that was your first time in the studio too, right?
Right. Yeah.
What
One of
was
the
it?
first times. but
One of the
yeah.
first. Okay, well, I guess we all went with homies and things like that, but that was like your first time in the studio, actually on the booth, laying down your
Absolutely.
track.
Yep.
What was it like?
It was it feels so long ago at this point, but it really wasn't that long ago. But
Gotcha.
it felt good because you start to feel like an established artist, right?
Okay.
Like in this game, you don't want to be known as like a gimmick artist. You want people to take you seriously.
True.
And so with rap, that's difficult because you need people to understand the vision that you bring to the table
True.
with whatever type of artist that you are. And so
Okay.
in my case, I was like, I could get used to this. I don't want to just do this for one session. I want to continue doing this until I can build up a catalog of music that I can ultimately perform for a crowd of people, because you can't just have one song. You gotta keep going.
Gotta keep going.
To answer your question though, it felt great. It was
Right.
it was a rush, and it gave me a framework of how to treat studio sessions, because that was really the first time I was thrown into it. So
Gotcha. Okay. So like how you like it, man? Both on your ear, one half on your ear.
That took some time to learn too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, let's keep one slightly half off the ear, but then the other one fully in so that I can hear what the producer is saying, but I can also kind of listen to myself.
Yeah.
I think I was probably both fully in because I'm like, I got to hear how
Gotta
this
hear
sounds.
how
I got to
this-
make sure I'm not, spitting no BS on the mic.
Gotcha.
So,
You want to hear you want to hear all the beat too, right?
right.
Because
I want to feel like I'm
be,
outer space right now.
right.
Like
Gotcha.
just in my own
got you.
world.
So I'm gonna ask you, man. Did you find your sound? Like, did you find your voice, the way that you want to flow on your first song in the studio, or did it take a little bit of time to get there?
It took a little bit of time. I think I'd be crazy to say I knew exactly what I wanted to sound like after the first song, but like I think the process of songwriting, going in the booth, recording, and then performing, I think rinsing and repeating that process is what ultimately makes you realize what's my voice, what's my identity, what do I want to sound like, what do I
Okay.
sound like. And so I would say it definitely took at least a few songs to get to that point. And even right now, like it's still a work in progress because
Right.
I think I've put out a good bit of music, but in the grand scheme of things, my catalog isn't that extensive.
Okay.
At least not where I want it to be. But I haven't been in the game for that long, so that's where I'm looking forward to continue at that craft and just see how far I can go.
True indeed, man. So you got your first song out. Did you perform the first song as well?
I did. And that's where I say 2 years it's been that I've been seriously performing because
Okay.
that's how long I've been performing really. And so I've included that first song in some of my sets. And I remember the first show I had was it was August of 2023 at Lo-Fi Brewing. And so that Game Time made it into that set. And it felt great. I was like, it felt great to be able to do that.
Stop heading towards Moss Corner.
It's downtown, but you gotta go
downtown. Okay.
all the way down. Like you go past Royal American and where the home team is downtown, and so it's kind of like in the midst of North Charleston and downtown, but it's not really.
I was trying to. I
downtown.
was like, I know I've heard of, so I was just trying to vision where it's
Right.
at. I think I know what you're talking about though.
It's become a big stomping grounds for local artists, at least. Like lo-fi is like
It's like on the island from one street to the next, right?
kind of. It's like in an excluded area,
Yeah.
but it's like it's pretty spacious. Like
Gotcha.
it's like a warehouse setting kind
Okay.
of. But they have a great stage and a bar and everything. And
So you hit it and you was like, was you nervous?
I was only I was confident enough in remembering all my lyrics and just kind of doing my best to put on a good show, but I didn't know what from a technical difficulty standpoint it would be like because just to put it to you like this, any artist knows that when you're sending your music into a DJ, you got audio files on your phone to you put them in a Google Drive folder, maybe you email it to the DJ, make sure everything is good. I had my Spotify pulled up, ready to play my music off of my Spotify.
True.
And so I quickly realized that is not the way you do it. That's
true.
like not even just for the fact that the backtracks were in, but the fact that there wasn't really any connection. So me not having the audio files, it was kind of it hurt me in the moment because I wasn't doing it the right way. But it took experiences like that for me to realize what's the proper etiquette for having that DJ artist relationship and doing it the right way to where, we got a show, send your music in on time, make sure, sound, equipment, everything goes well, and then you can put on a good show so that the people can enjoy it. So.
Okay, I understand that. So you said you didn't really after you, I think well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I understand getting the first song done and then not liking it. I'm definitely one who understand that. So how fast did you rush into the second song?
So Game Time was May of 2021. My second song was near Halloween of that same year. So it took about, like 3 to 5 months for me to put the second one out.
Yeah.
And then it took even more time for me to put the third and fourth ones out. But that's why I say like in the last 2 years, I've been a little more consistent with music that I've dropped. I've never even put out an album yet. I've only put
Okay.
out like 3 to 4 song EPs, but
Mhm.
that's kind of where, I'm working towards putting out that first full length project. But
Okay.
yeah, it took a while to get the consistency down pat up front. Where it's like, you know this. You can't just put out a song every 6 months and expect people to gravitate towards it. You gotta stay on their radar. You gotta be, keep that consistency up so that you don't lose relevancy in that
Gotcha.
regard.
Gotcha. And that second song was called
Running.
Running.
It
Okay.
had like a Halloween theme to it
Yeah.
because it was near Halloween, and I'm big on the concepts and themes of songs. So
Yeah. Did it have
um,
did it have a feature? It sounded like a song.
I haven't done that one too much. That one was a solo.
Solo?
That one was
Okay.
solo, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then I guess you just kept on. You say you did a third and fourth song, and then
Right.
what did Overdrive and No Excuses? What did they come in at?
Right. So Overdrive, that was an EP I put out in June of 2024. So that
Mhm.
was a 4-song EP I put out. And so I kind of, the reason I even named it Overdrive is, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's like, you want to work hard.
Mhm.
It's not just a 9 to 5 or a certain amount of time you put. You want to go into overdrive. You want to put a lot of a lot of passion in your craft. And so that's where like I've dropped Overdrive 2, the EP, in July of 2023, and then this past June I dropped Overdrive 3, the EP. And so I kind of just kept that trend going. And then No Excuses, that was a single off of Overdrive 3. And so, again, with No Excuses, it's like I don't like playing the blame game. If there's something that I can take accountability for, I don't want to point the finger at other people. So that's why I always perform No Excuses, because I think it's I think it's a good self-representation of the type of music that I like to make and to perform. So that's
Okay.
kind of the backstory to Overdrive, the EP,
Mhm.
but also No Excuses, the song itself.
Okay. Okay. All right. So on the EP Overdrive, how many songs, and what's the other song that I guess you're pushing off of that? Because
Right. So the third Overdrive 3 was just 3 songs.
Okay.
The theme was 3 with that one. So it was
makes
Overdrive
sense.
3 songs.
Yeah.
If you look at the cover art, I have 3 I'm not wearing them now, but I had 3 like ring watches on, and I
Yeah.
had 3 wristbands as well. So I'm like, again, it's not just about dropping
Wristband it.
music, but it's about putting it's about kind of being strategic with it too. So
Yeah.
one of the other songs I really am pushing off of it is with my boy Most Wanted Steph,
Okay.
a part of Unheard Entertainment. So it's a song we got called Disappear, Reappear. And he's just someone who I think is such an incredible spitter in the Charleston scene. And I'm like, I want to do more collaborations. Like, I want to be able to not just put out my own music, but be able to bump heads with fellow artists that I've had the pleasure of not just meeting, but becoming good friends with. So like that song, for example, is like you just see both of our superpowers, unveil themselves on
Okay.
a track.
On the track.
And so
yeah.
we've even performed it a couple times at certain shows, and it's always just like pandemonium.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um. So you performed at what is it called? 23 Brewing, right?
Lo-fi brewing.
Low-fi Brewing. I don't know where I get the 23 from. Then good. True that. And then from there, is that what you extended to the Ritz then, or was it somewhere else that you started performing before?
That's a good question. So there were like miscellaneous spots I would perform at, but the Ritz really came into play last year. Like I want to say August of 2024. Tay Simone, shout out to Tay Simone. She actually messaged me and was like, yo, Keon, so we're gonna see you at the Ritz tonight, right? And I didn't know what she was talking about, but
Yeah.
then when I looked into some of the flyers that were put out, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, so there's showcasings that happen at the Ritz, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like almost like an open mic for artists to come
Okay.
pay to perform. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. Because even in my case, I'm still, I'm grateful for any opportunity I can get to showcase my music for a crowd, right?
Okay.
So slowly but surely, I went to the Ritz once or twice, and I'm like, I just kept going back because that's how I would network with fellow artists. And
Right.
how we
So
talked about 23 Shots earlier, that's
yeah,
how I met 23 Shots and Megan Boy Below
yeah.
and Mugga Man and
Okay.
just a lot of and
So
Colors and a lot of these guys that are so deep into the music scene. But that's really where the Ritz came into play.
okay, so you didn't know Mugga Man before you came to the Ritz.
No, I did not. I
Oh,
met him
okay.
at the Ritz actually.
Yeah, it seemed like y'all kind of, kicked off pretty well. I felt like you might have known him before the Ritz. I was getting ready to ask that now, but now you already put it out there. We know how you know.
Well, you know,
So-
Mugga Man is someone he's been doing what he's been doing for a long time now. So
Yeah.
even when we're at the same event, I just like to pick his brain about
Mhm.
different things because he's met and worked with a lot of artists,
Yeah.
and especially like major industry artists that
Mhm.
he curates shows with. So I just like picking his brain, asking questions about things that I want to learn about because I think he's a very solid resource to go to for stuff like
Understand.
that.
Understand. Man's been doing this thing for a long time.
Right.
Everything's, yeah, facts there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, when you performed at the Ritz, man, what was it like coming from where you performed? Because I know the Ritz was a totally different atmosphere, right?
It's a different atmosphere, but it was in the grand scheme of things, it's still like structurally, it's still the same. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is to me, it's as simple as we got a DJ, I got
Yeah.
music to send to the DJ. I get a thrill out of being able to perform.
Yeah.
And it felt like a rush because I even had people that would come up to me and give me compliments on the music. And when you perform, you don't perform expecting people to come up to you afterwards. You perform, you do your thing, and if anyone wants to come give you good feedback, then it's a bonus. But people started to do that at the Ritz, and it meant the world to me because I'm like, wow, like I don't know what song is gonna gravitate towards certain people or what
Yeah.
what lyrics, what lines are gonna stand out to people. But
Yeah.
the Ritz, the most important thing about the Ritz to me was that's really where I started to get comfortable with the art of performing
Okay.
because you might have the best song in the world, but if you can't perform it
Yeah.
properly,
Gotcha.
I don't know if you're gonna get the people's attention the way that you want.
Right.
So with the Ritz, like I'm paying to perform because it gives me a chance to get on this platform and just get comfortable, like work my nerves out, just learn the art of crowd control, stage presence, delivery, execution. Like it's like stand-up comedy. I look at being a rap artist or a musician as stand-up comedy. You're on that stage, it's a solo sport. You got to make sure you put on a show from start to finish. So
True.
a showcasing like the Ritz gave me the chance to play around with that.
Yeah.
And that's how I really got comfortable with performing. So.
Okay. All right. So networking down there, did you like 23 Shots, Making Boy Below? Did you do any music with them guys or
Not yet, but
No.
I would love to.
Okay. All right.
That I would definitely love to. It's all about it's once you hear a beat,
Yeah.
there's certain artists that you just think of and you're like, you know what, I want him on that.
You
And
want-
I want him on that.
True
And so
that.
I need to dive deeper into different beats so that I can actually reach out to more guys and be like, yo, like let's do something. Like
Yeah.
let's collaborate. Because
Let's
I
go.
think you got a fan base, I got a fan base. And
Yeah.
if we can bring them together, that's only beneficial for both sides. So,
True indeed. True indeed. So with you being Iranian, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. Some people take things too far.
Sure.
Like any kind of backlash or any kind of body come at you like, hey man, we all living in this world trying to make a better day, get a better day, make a better way, right? But
when you say like backlash,
yeah, like anybody try to like, oh man, you trying to do all things, da, 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 you know what I mean?
oh, you mean as far as rap?
Yeah.
Thankfully not, but
Good.
I'm like, I guess I rap okay if I haven't gotten
Yeah.
that type of comment. But honestly, every artist I've met has been it's just been all love. Like
Okay.
it's been
You know what I'm
if-
saying? Because sometimes people I just had to ask that question.
Sure, but like one thing I've noticed is that I've become friends with artists that, if anything, they're eager to learn more about my
Yeah.
Iranian background,
True.
right? Like
Fact. Yeah.
like it's
It's a lot to learn.
because
Actually.
I speak on Iran
Yeah.
a little bit in my music, and so when artists hear that, if anything, they I've noticed that they gravitate towards it. They enjoy hearing about like a different walk of life, the same way that I like to learn about
Mhm.
other cultures or other like backgrounds that artists or
But you were
people
born
come
right
from.
here in America.
Charleston, born and raised. That's right.
Charleston, born and raised, stomping on the same streets and same high schools, I guess, in a
Right.
sense. Okay, so
And I was blessed to be able to
Yeah.
be born because like most of my family still live in Iran. So
Okay.
the fact that I can even say I grew up in South Carolina,
Yeah.
I'm way more blessed than I even realized.
Gotcha.
Because it could have been way different if I grew up overseas.
Gotcha.
But I'm just very blessed.
Okay, I gotcha. So man, fast forward to some more shows. I guess Colors must have ran into you at the Ritz, I think is what you
Right.
stated, and told you
Right.
about the meeting of the minds, and
Yep.
then I think he had something like come out and support, then next time come out and rap or something like that. That might have been something old, but
Man, someone like Colors, like that's really the networking man right
Yeah.
there. Like I remember performing at the Ritz, and like the first few times, it was such good energy between me and him. And like you said, like those Ritz performances transitioned into him telling me about the meeting of the minds. Like I believe last year, 2024 was the 16th year anniversary, either 16th or 17th, but I think it was the 16th year
I think it was the
anniversary
16th,
of the
yeah.
meeting of the minds. And so he told me about it, and then the same way I would go to the Ritz, I started going to Jungles,
Yeah.
like every showcasing, because
Right.
that was another great opportunity for me to meet different artists, meet different people, network, and kind of still perform and be able to get my reps in. So
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, Colors is definitely a network man. Be out there doing this thing,
right.
networking. So you say building your catalog up and everything. You would say but no album, just EP and
Singles, EPs, just
and
kind of that's
singles
been
out there everywhere. Okay, so
right.
what's the next big single or the next single that you're looking to push? If you don't mind sharing it with us.
Of course. I was just listening to it today. I have a Christmas song that I
Okay.
want to put out. And so I've been sitting on it for a while now, but for any artist that's in the music scene, sometimes the hardest part is just everything but the music. And what I mean by that is you got to, take the right photo so you have the right cover art, or maybe you're trying to get a good release date down pat. And so I think I'm starting to get in that mindset of getting my ducks in a row with different singles that I want to put out. I have a single that I'm about to. I don't have a release date yet, but it's with my boy King Cutler. So it's a single I want to put out featuring him. But I also have a Christmas song that I'm gearing up to drop
Okay.
closer to Christmas, and then I'm just kind of sitting on some unreleased stuff.
Yeah.
In the vault. So it'll just be a mind game of like figuring out how I want to drop it, when I want to drop it, and just things like that.
Some shit. I got you. I got you, my guy. I got you. All right. And you and King Cutler, y'all have a song out already together, or
Not yet. Not yet.
I thought I saw y'all perform at I guess he did his own thing. You perform and then he performed.
No, I think you're right. We were
Yeah.
at it was at Playground Lounge,
Oh,
and
okay.
that was the single
Oh,
that I'm gonna drop.
that was it. Oh, true.
I performed it unreleased, but it was the end of the night, and Gino said we could do a song, so I was like, let's do that one because
That was
I
dope.
had him with me. So yeah, so that's the song, but again, I just got to figure out a release date. For
Okay.
It, so
So man, I gotta ask you, man. It's been a journey for you so far, right? And I just like when you sit back and you think about it, where do you see yourself at, in your journey? Like, do you see yourself being able to get to your destination, or you think it's still a long process?
I this relates to anything in life, but since we're talking about music, especially, the journey is something that you have to enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
so to your point, like, do I see myself getting to the destination that I
Of
see
course,
myself
right.
out?
Yeah.
I have to see that,
Yeah,
because if I
right.
don't see that, then I might not be as motivated to do what
Gotcha.
I do. But whether that's 2 months from now, 2 years from now, 2 decades from now, that some things are out of my control, but what I can control is
Yeah.
how hard can I work, how, involved can I get, how much can I expose myself to the music scene so that I can get to that destination. But
Right.
I've really
Well,
learned to enjoy the art of just the ups and downs that
gotcha.
come with the journey.
Well, I
So
guess what I mean to say is getting quickly to that destination, or you know it's a process, because we got people they think that it's gonna happen overnight.
I and like, and it very well could. Like, we've seen a lot of artists break quicker than others,
Think
right? Like,
true.
but when it comes to the journey, like, I don't trip off of, like, oh man, like, it's not happening as soon as I'd like it to.
Okay.
Because for me, I understand that there's factors that there's variables I can't control,
Right.
right? And I'm big on everything happens for a reason. I'm very spiritual, so I pray to God, and I understand that if it doesn't happen as quick as I'd like it to,
Mhm.
I can't let that deter me from the bigger picture. And
Okay.
so I just try to extract the juices out of each moment as much as I can,
Almost-
even if I'm not where I want to be at. Situation could always be worse, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
similar to how we are talking about me growing up in America. There's a lot of people a lot of family that would be better off if they were in my shoes, and I'm talking about folks that live overseas still, just because it's not a great situation. And
Right.
so things like that just make me grateful to live life on a day-to-day basis, but also have the platform to do the music thing,
Right.
because it's still something I enjoy. But of course, I have like those bigger goals in mind of
Right.
where I want to go.
I'm
in
glad
life.
you put that out there, that it's people in other places that have the blessings that we have in America. Even if you're late on your rent,
Right.
they can't even have a rent. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm glad you put that out there, because
I feel like it could always be worse, like,
Right.
and but I wake up every day and I think if I woke up, that's a blessing on its own. So I just try to keep that same mentality, really.
True. I like that, man. Definitely like that. But so okay, so man, let me ask you, in your journey, man, what's the most memorable moment that still sticks in your mind? And
There's a few moments. There's two moments, I'll say. The first moment I'd say was that first show I did at
Okay.
Lo-Fi Brewing,
yeah,
because I had a big group of friends come, and to me it was just a shock to A, be able to perform my own music, but B, I'm looking into a crowd of people that, like, these are my friends
yeah,
recording me and actually enjoying the show that I'm putting on. And it's like, those are things that you can only imagine until you do it. And
Yeah.
so that was, to be able to get my first show like under my belt like that, it felt incredible.
okay,
But I'd say another moment was when I did the DJ Chuck T showcasing last year
Oh, you did?
at the
Okay.
Purple Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's what so I won that night, and that's what got me a slot into the Charlotte Hornets Music Industry Night
Okay.
event that they threw. And so just being able to go to Charlotte and experience that whole process from start to finish, that was like, okay, like, if it really feels like the hard work has been paying off, but
Yeah.
you got to keep going. Like, just keep it. Don't get like, don't be a prisoner of the moment, but
Right.
enjoy the moment, like, and enjoy it as much as you can.
Did you feel? I want to ask you this, back to your first show, right? That's did you feel like, I don't, this might be weird, but did you like? Was it like, yeah, I'm out here now? Like, did your ego? Did you think, or your ego kind of went a little more than it needs to go, or where it needed to be, or did it stay the same and kept you humble? Or
I'd say the latter. I think
Yeah.
I don't think I had. It's fun. I don't think I had an ego that night, because there was some technical difficulties because of me
Yeah.
that happened. Like I didn't have audio files of my
Right.
music. I had my Spotify
Yeah,
that,
just- yeah.
you know, it took another 15 to 20 minutes to actually get my music up and running. So in my head, I'm like, there are other artists that are trying to perform.
Yeah.
I'm out here causing delays. I
Yeah.
got my friends in the crowd. People are it's dead silent in Lo-Fi Brewing. And I'm like,
Yeah. The whole 20 minutes. You say 15, 20 minutes.
I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it took a little
it
bit.
was quiet, but it wasn't. Music was supposed to be. You were supposed to be performing, so that
Right.
wasn't. I got you. I
Right, like
got
we
you.
were still trying to get the music
Yeah.
figured out, and we ultimately did. We through YouTube, but again, like in my head, I'm like, okay, these are the moments that
Yeah.
it feels I'm gonna be hard on myself because I'm like, you should have been prepared, or at least better than you did come prepared. But those are the moments where I'm like, this is why I'm not gonna mess this up for any other show that I do, because I learned a lesson in that
Gotcha.
moment. And so that's what I was very humble about the whole thing, because again, I was very grateful to even have friends come to
Okay.
my performance,
Yeah.
because I was still new to music at the time, and I still kind of am, but it was just a cool experience overall.
Okay. And when you did the performance at DJ Chuck T's, I forget what they called it. I wasn't there, but I was told it was a nice crowd, right?
Right. It was a good bit of
It
people
was
there.
a good bit of
Mhm.
people, and I guess when you walked in there and saw those people, were you like, I'm about to tear it up? You know, was you like,
I try to have that mentality in any environment that I go
okay.
into, whether it's 5 people in the crowd or 5,000 people in the
Yeah.
crowd. I really try to be consistent with that approach, because I don't take anything for granted,
Right.
is what I'm trying to say. So even like meeting Chuck T there, I'd heard about Chuck T and I'd
Right.
seen content of Chuck T, and even that was a cool moment, because I'm like, wow, that's a big guy in the Carolina scene, especially. And so just hearing that I won the showcasing, and I was gonna
Oh,
that
you
was my
actually
ticket.
won? Okay.
Right. So I came in first that night, and that was my ticket to get to the Charlotte Hornets Music Industry Night
Okay.
performance. And so that's where, again, to me, it was like, I see how it felt good to see the hard work. It was starting to pay off
Mhm.
in like short-term victories. And so that's like momentum that I try to build off of with.
So did you already
everything.
do the Charlotte Hornets? It was a performance that you won, or I guess a showcasing to go to and perform, right?
Oh yeah. So Chuck T did the showcasing at Purple Buffalo that
Yeah.
night, and then it was like a month after the fact, the Charlotte Hornets event happened. So
Okay, and then you actually went and performed, and
yeah, it
all-
was post game.
Yeah. How
So
was it? How? I mean, like, gotta tell me, man. How did that?
it was
Come
cool,
on,
man. Like it was like, even just to step foot on a hardwood NBA
Yeah.
floor and to perform my music,
Yeah.
like. And there was a group of artists that was with me too. And kind of going back to what we were saying about the networking thing, I still keep in touch with certain artists that I met that maybe aren't from Charleston, but
Yeah.
they maybe came from the Upper East Coast to that event to perform or to network. And it showed me a whole nother world was out there
Gotcha.
musically. But
Okay. So what did you give them, man? When you was performing, what did you perform?
oh, what I prefer, it was one. We got one song each, so I
Yeah.
did my Toyota.
You did my Toyota.
I did my Toyota. Yeah. I was
True
like,
that. They was
I
rock.
was
I
like-
know they was rocking that, right?
I
know.
went back and forth, and I was like, I gotta go with that one.
Gotta go with that one.
that's-
Universal, right? So
right.
go ahead, man. Break us down with them. You know what I'm saying? We already kind of talked about it
Right.
off the camera, but just for the people, you know what I'm saying? Break it down to them. How you come about with my Toyota.
Man, it was simple for me. Like I always tell people I have a 9 to 5, but
Yeah.
music is like my 5 to 9, because that's what I do when I'm not working. But
True.
my 9 to 5 is software sales.
Mhm.
So I've had a Toyota 4Runner for a few years now, and every single day I'm going into the parking garage,
Yeah.
going into work, and then I'm
Yeah.
leaving. And in my head, I'm like, I told you, I had that chorus just replay in my head without
Yeah.
knowing what the beat was gonna be,
Right.
without knowing what the song was gonna be. I was
Right.
just like,
You-
thank God this week I closed on my quota, and now I'm about to hop in my Toyota.
Yeah.
Hey, and like, to me, it was that's real life for me. Like, to this day, like
Gotcha.
I'm like I have a quota I have
Yeah.
to meet at work,
True indeed.
and then I'm hopping in a
In a
Toyota when I'm
Toyota.
leaving work.
Right.
And so one thing with me with the music is I never want to. I always wanted to be real and
Yeah.
authentic to who I am and what I do in a day to day. So
Right.
to me, it was just it was a genuine concept because I'm like, this really is my life right
Right.
now. Like, and so I put it into a song, and I mean, to this day, I think that's the one that people come up to me and say, like, I might do 5, 6 songs at a show, and they
Yeah.
say, "Yo, that one was
Gotta do.
like."
I forget how long did you say it was? You was going over it in your head before you was like, you know what, thing, I need to lay that down.
It was honestly, I think it was just like a few weeks,
Few
like maybe
weeks.
a month or two
So
at most. But
you didn't got it mastered and everything for us the hook go anyway.
when you have I always tell people, like, sometimes you might think of a concept by listening to a beat, but I already knew what the concept of this one was
Just
gonna
yeah.
be. Literally about my car,
About
right?
you, right.
But once I heard the beat,
Yeah.
I'm like, that I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm rapping on this beat. And then, we got it mixed and mastered, and I perform it at every single performance.
Okay. Okay, yeah, man.
Almost every single performance.
I've seen you perform and I've seen the crowd get hyped, and whether they got Toyotas or not,
Right.
they jump with my Toyota. So you know what I mean? I've seen it go to work, man.
You know what? I always tell people I don't have a Lamborghini. I don't
Yeah.
have a luxurious car, but to
Yeah.
me, I love my Toyota,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of people out there that love their vehicles. And even if
Yeah.
it's not a Toyota, you might have a Subaru or a Honda. Really, I want that song to be universal, to say that it doesn't matter what transportation you have.
Gotcha.
It goes back to like what we were saying about being grateful for what you have. And for me, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my Toyota. It gets me from point A to point
Let
B.
me gotcha.
Knock on wood, I don't really run into many like maintenance issues with it. So
Right.
to me, it was a song I wanted to bring to life, and
Right.
that's what I tried to do.
True indeed. Because we all, well, yeah, whether you was, old enough to drive or not, remember days we had to walk.
Absolutely. We
Hot-
talked about the bus rides
the bus-
home.
see what I'm
I
saying?
couldn't drive
Hot.
a Toyota when I was 10 years old.
You know what I'm
but-
saying? Hot in the afternoon, cold in the morning, and all
Right.
that. Got the big jacket on for no reason.
Right.
True indeed, man. So I think, from what I've seen, I could definitely tell a lot of artists in Charleston definitely rocks with you. I think you got a lot of respect from a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying? I want to say, though, when you started rapping 4 years ago, you was probably about 20. So you was already an adult, really, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
26 right now. When I dropped my first song, I was 2 months away from being 22.
22. Okay. So, man, what is the process like when you're getting ready to do any music? Like studio, like what is like, do you need a minute or do you go in there and you're like, yo, I'm ready, man. Let's go right now. Do you go in there, you want to hear the beat, you want to maybe hear a few of your old songs, you want to maybe chit chat for a minute or two, or you just go in there and you're like, yo, I'm ready.
I think that because for any artist that studio time, it's not cheap, right?
True
Like
indeed.
you got to be strategic with
Yeah.
how you use that time. So as prepared as I can be going into those studio sessions,
Mhm.
it helps me too, because I'm not going in blindfolded. I actually have an idea of what I want to do. But typically I'll have the beats on standby, and I know what I want to lay down. And really, like, during those studio sessions, uh once I lay those things, those tracks down, that's where it's like a brainstorming session between me and whoever the producer engineer is, to say, oh, like, what if you add this ad lib, or what if you stab on this one, on this track, because you it's a joint experience in trying to make the best music that you can.
Yeah.
So I try to have the idea and the lyrics and everything down pat before I go in, but it's also like a spontaneous moment where it's like, figure it out as you go. Like,
Okay.
go in knowing what you want to do, but also like be open to additional ideas,
Additional ideas.
as
Okay.
you're kind of making a song from start to finish.
True indeed, man. Have you had any battles? For as not like going to showcases, but like, have you had any like, oh man, let me show you what I got, and then y'all kind of, battle freestyle back and forth. Have you had any of that since you started your career into this music?
That's I don't think not like that. Not like a freestyle rap battle of any sort. I mean, if anything, that's what we do with the homies when we're just trying to
When you
have fun.
yeah.
But I'd say the closest thing I could put it really has been the showcasings where you're competing to see who gets the first, second, third place prize. Like even before I started going to the Ritz, a year prior was when Gino Judges would do the Blue Note Bistro
Yeah.
showcasings, and so I would go there where like it was like, okay, whoever puts on the best performance, like you get first place. And so it's really just been showcasings. I haven't really been in like a battle rap setting. I'm not that type of artist either. I don't
Okay.
but I got respect for people who can do
Okay.
that.
Gotcha.
so.
Gotcha. It's a lot of people who can do that. I think it's about that time, man. You want to give like any shout outs to any family member, any friends, coworkers, anybody out there that's just doing music that you know?
Oh man, I mean, shout out to the whole Charleston music scene. Really, like how we were talking about,
Oh
like
wait,
all these.
before we go any further, I do gotta ask.
Oh yeah,
How
what's
did you and King Cutler?
King Cutler?
Cutler,
Yep.
how did you meet him?
We have a mutual friend that I actually went to college with,
Yeah.
and I 3 years ago I went to a show, funny enough, at Lo-Fi Brewing. This was a year before I did my show there, and that's where our mutual friend connected us both. And me and him were just like, oh, okay, you do music, I do music, and we kind of just connected from there. But he's we've just been locked in ever since. So
Okay.
we're at a lot of the same events and shows and,
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
Okay.
So
Okay.
incredible artist, by the
Yeah,
way.
he's dope artist, man.
Yeah.
I've seen him a few times. I guess when I see you, I see him most of the time.
Right.
But yeah, I've seen him a few times. Just wanted to definitely get that. Is he Charleston or because he kind of got like a more of like a up north flow to me.
Yeah,
But is he?
I'm pretty sure he's from New York.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
hasn't been in Charleston forever, but yeah, he's yeah, I think Brooklyn, I believe.
Okay.
So
I got you.
mhm.
But once again, man, sorry for breaking that out.
No, of course.
Anybody you want to give any shout outs to? You want to do that again?
Yeah, no, just the whole Charleston music scene in general, whether you're a DJ, artist, entertainer, producer, engineer, whatever the case might be. We got a very talented group, a very talented scene, and I think it's just a matter of time before this scene specifically gets put on the map. But a shout out to them, shout out to all my family overseas, shout out to anyone that's doing what they got to do to survive on a day-to-day basis. So
Okay. All right. Once again, this your boy Sean Treasy. This is Star My City Show, sponsored by Meeting Other Minds, Those to Watch Radio. We got Keon on the show in my Toyota. Y'all boy, check him out. Go on Spotify, download his music, stream his music, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm guaranteed you won't probably change the channel. Show him a lot of love. Until the next time, one love for the culture.